Married at 12? I'm not so sure. There are thousands of misconceptions we all have about the past. That people married early, that people had beds, that witches were always women. So here are my top 3 facts that I learned in 2024 that changed how I thought about facts. Hi, my name is Bose. I have an MA in Early Modern English History, and I'm here to talk to you today about the history you don't learn about at school. One big misconception about the early modern era is that everyone married young, because people tended to die young. This misconception is often stems from the aristocratic marriage stats, skewing our perception of average marriage age for the rest of the population. This is because aristocratic families tended to marry their children off exceedingly young. For example, in 1501, Anne Vour was married to Thomas Lestrange when Anne was 7 and Tom was 10. However, these stories were an exception to the rule over the early modern era. Historians have estimated that the average age of marriage for women was around 24 to 26 years old, whereas for men it was 26 to 27 years old in England. One key reason for this was that most people had to work to save up money before they could marry and establish their own household. This is particularly true for women who had to work and save money for their dowry in order to get married. Therefore, the actual average age of marriage for most people was not too dissimilar to the average ages of marriage today. Fact number 2. Witches were not always women. A common stereotype of the past is that people accused of witchcraft were women. However, by analysing trial records in both Europe and the United States, historians have found that between 20 to 25% of people who were accused of witchcraft formerly were men. In early New England, 75 men were accused of witchcraft, 14 of whom were tried and 7 of which were executed, meaning the idea that witches were women is actually quite inaccurate and leaves out a very important part of the history of witchcraft and the gender dynamics at play. Fact number 3. The meaning behind the expression left on the shelf. This is quite a common English expression, and the Cambridge Dictionary defines it as: if someone, usually a woman, is on the shelf, she is not married and is considered too old for anyone to want to marry her. Many people believe this expression comes from the idea that food that has been left on the shelf has expired. However, some historians believe the phrase actually originates from when maidservants, who were typically single women, used to sleep on kitchen shelves because beds were very expensive in the early modern era and few employers could afford or wanted to provide their servants with the luxury of a bed. Consequently, the term left on the shelf came to be used to describe a woman who did not leave service and so did not marry. This has led to the modern meaning of the phrase of a woman who does not marry. There we have 3 of my favourite historical facts and misconceptions that I learned in the past year doing my MA. Did any of these common misconceptions surprise you? Had you heard them all before? What is your favourite historical misconception? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more weird history facts, be sure to check out my short on the bizarre history of breakfast, linked in the description below.